Okay, it's the next day. So I did my little order for, it is July 23rd of 2024. And my last little video was the domestic stuff, right? Okay. I bypassed on the salmon, da-da-da-da, because, you know, and I'm actually quite weak, but today, I don't know why. But besides that point, you know, I put my order in. It was $128 just for miscellaneous vegetables, some milk, bread, you know, just that kind of stuff. Bag of cat food. It looks like I got everything that I wanted. Okay. But because they sent me a promo code to get 10,000 points added to my collection of points, I'm like, because I could have taken $50 off of that bill yesterday if I wanted to with my points. And I'm like, no, save it for when, like, kind of more like an emergency. When you're low on cash, you never know. Or there's a really good deal on something, or, you know, just save it. So anyway, I got the invite to buy something again. There's no dollar amount that you have to spend, I don't think, in order to qualify for those points, right? And I'm like, okay. So I'm going to go look. Well, I do need tang, you know, and this salmon is bugging me. Now, when I was reading yesterday to see if sockeye salmon is farmed, it's not, people. Atlantic salmon is farmed salmon. It's called Atlantic. If it says Atlantic, then it means it's been farmed. Outside of that, this frozen whole sockeye, headless and gutted salmon is wild, okay? Now I don't have sockeye home canned. I have lots in a can. And I did the math, because you know I'm conniving, I'm rebelling. I did the math. So if I was to buy 5 cans of sockeye salmon at 213 grams per can, which we know some of that is water, okay? At I'd get 1 kilogram 0.065. So it's not even a full kilogram. But it's 2 pounds anyway, because a kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So I'd get at least 2 pounds of salmon divided into, you know, the 5 cans, right? All right. If I was to buy 5 cans of sockeye salmon at Canadian Superstore at $5.99 a can, it would cost me, we'll just round it off at $30, right? If I could buy it at, especially the brand that I like, at Walmart, it would still cost me $26, right? Yeah, $26. But you can't even find them at Walmart anymore, especially with the brand that I want. It's a hit and miss, right? So, you know, if I really wanted, you know, to buy, I'd have to look to pay $1 more, and I don't want to do that. So anyway, now with this, it's just under, it's about a 2 pound size fish, right? At $7.99 a pound. Obviously, it's more expensive than pink salmon. I can always buy pink salmon again, frozen if I want, on a different day. But I've never seen the sockeye, okay? That's why I'm kind of like thinking about this, and I probably will do this. So, what did I write there? I'm reading through the camera. Let me read this way. So what I did is I subtracted the grammage from the can product, but factor in, though, there's water, okay? That water is going to add to the weight. And I subtracted it from the fish itself in terms of 985 grams, which is almost a kilogram, which is 2.2 pounds. So we're looking at 2 pounds of fish. I'm only 80 grams short from what's up there, but you don't know how much that water's coming in terms of weight, right? So I just took the one for $25 from Walmart if I was to buy 5 cans at $5 a can. And I subtracted the one salmon right there with the one salmon if I buy it and can it myself. No, I have to pay for my jars, but I've got some here. I would prefer salmon-sized jars, but they don't always have them. So, but I have jars here that I could do it. Anyway, I'm saving $8.40 per fish. So if I buy 2 fish, I save almost $17 versus buying it in a can. But I don't have to can it, right? If I do it that way. But we're not getting the full grammage. Whereas if I do it this way, we're getting the full grammage in terms of actual fish versus water. If I buy 3 of them, which I'm thinking to buy 3 of them, then I'm saving like $25, right? Right now I only have 2, but they're small. They're only 2 pounds each. 3 would be fine. 4 would be better, honestly. 4 would be better. But I already bought food. But again, I've never seen sockeye salmon like this. It's usually just good old pink salmon. So if I go to what I'm buying now keep in mind, I'm collecting 10,000 PC points, and if I wanted to, I could cash in 50,000 and drop my bill down from $91 to $41. Because for every 10,000 you get $10 off your bill. So I could use my 50,000, bring my bill down to $41, and still get my 10,000 PC points for the next accumulation of points, which I might do, right? So in that situation, it might be better to buy the 4 and be done with it. I'm not going to buy the pink salmon because I can do that on a different day, you know, assuming that they have them. But I'm not too worried about it. So they have these. I'm assuming that they're there, right? They're coming in at $12 each. I'm only going to buy 2. The kids and I, we drink a lot of Tang for the vitamin C, and they like it. Plus I buy, what is that called? I've been buying cranberry juice. You know, different flavors of cranberry juice. Ocean Spray. And the kids, they like it. And that's really high in vitamin C. So my main 2 goes when it comes to juices in the house at this point, either the Tang, crystallized Tang, or Ocean Spray juice that's in jugs. And they're sucking that back. I got 2 bags of chips, just original, which I'm going to add a couple more just because, right? And then we've got the frozen salmon here, right? And for me to spend $50 on canned salmon, that's 10 cans of salmon at Walmart at $4.99. But I can't really find them anymore because they just they don't seem to be getting them. It doesn't matter what brand. It doesn't matter if it's the Cloverleaf, the other brand, or their brand, you know, their Great Value brand. Like, it's like they kind of ran out of that. So I'm not even going to waste my time. But I get more for my money here if I do it this way. I'm already saving $24. So in essence, if I can it myself, I kind of get, you know, another 5 extra cans for free, but they're going to be more in weightage than if you were to buy it already pre-canned from the store, because it's just the way it works. right? I don't weigh the water. Not that I weigh the fish when I stick it in the jar, but you get my point, right? So I'm definitely thinking to do this, and I'm definitely thinking to cash in my 50,000 PC points that I already have, which means I've freed myself up a bit of money that if I wanted to, I could buy one more because I've only got 3. So if I went out of my way and I added one more, which would be then worth my time. Because when they're in the sink, half frozen, and I'm cutting them, it goes really fast. Putting them in the jar, putting them into the canner, it goes really fast. Where the issue is, you know, I'm looking at 110 minutes. That's a lot of minutes, 110, right? Just standing at the canner. Okay? But after it's all said and done, I like it. It's worth it, in my opinion. And those things will sit for a long time. Obviously, the only thing you have to worry about are lids popping. Unfortunately, lids are not as secure as they used to be, but still, they seem to be holding pretty good, especially if you put it in a cool, dark place. And it'll sit for years if you want. And it's worth it. And you know what's in it, okay? You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to be surprised when you open up a can and the can is half empty because the company ripped you off 5 years ago when you bought that canned sockeye salmon in a metal can thinking it was a full can, to only find out that, you know, something ate at it before it was even put into the freaking can and processed, because that's what's happening these days. Not to mention the cans that they're bringing in these foods in now are inferior. However, the Gold Seal and the other brand, I can't think of the brand, but anyway, so that's what I'm thinking. So my bill now is 108, okay, 82. Take off the $50, right, with my PC points. I'm only paying $58 at this point for 4 beautiful sockeye salmon that I know will can really well. Tang, for, you know, the kids like it, right? I normally buy it in pouches. It's on sale right now. Buy 3 pouches for, you know, that's right. Pouches are nice because they're individually wrapped and whatever. So I might scoop up on, I'm thinking to scoop up on a, normally I buy like 33 boxes at a time. But I'm not doing that right now. I am thinking to add on another 6 more, as well as just keep these ones for now. Okay? And then, you know, honestly, if I'm going to do fish, I should try that blue cod. I really should. It can go in the pressure canner right along with the salmon. 4 salmon isn't going to take a lot of space, I don't think, in the pressure canner. Now, technically, you kind of want to do them in 250 grams, but you can do them in pint-size 500-gram jars, right? People have canned salmon in quart-sized jars, but it's not recommended, okay? I have pint-size and quart, I have pint-size 500-gram and 250-gram jars here right now at this point. So, you know, I'm debating whether I should try and scoop up on a couple of jars just for the sake of it. Yeah, it's right here. And it's reasonably priced, you know. And it's the best fish when it comes to low mercury. The best fish. Better than tuna, better than any of those things, right? So, better than cod, right? So I'm thinking to maybe get a few of these to try it out. So like 4, maybe 4. I can try them out, right? Just for the sake of it, since I'm doing the fish anyway. And then what happens is, because they're frozen, they come into the house frozen, straight into the fridge. into metal pots. They sit cold. They start to slowly defrost. So by the next day I get to it, which would have to be Thursday. I'm going to order this today, have it delivered tomorrow, right? Put it in the fridge, and then get up Thursday morning and do what I got to do. So take off the $50. I'm only looking at $77 for some really good fish here. Right? Obviously the sockeye is more expensive, but we already know I'm saving at least $25 on the low ball. Right? If I was to buy that salmon canned at Canadian Superstore, you can tack on another $12, $25, and another $12. That would be another, I'd save $37 doing it myself if I had to buy that canned sockeye at Canadian Superstore. So that's what I'm thinking. Hold on. Okay, so my bill was $180. They were saying that some things were coming in low. Now I did add in the 20-pound bag of red potatoes imperfect for the $10, and I also added in the 20-pound bag of the russet potatoes imperfect for $10. I also added imperfect red, or like peppers, right? Bell peppers, imperfect. They came in at $7. And I don't know, imperfect cucumbers for like $4 or something like that. So I did add in a couple of extra things, right? But I redeemed 50,000 points, so they took $50. They're going to take $50 off of this. So my bill in general is only going to be $130, right? Assuming that they give me everything that I want, because of course I chose no substitutes as far as I know. 4 sockeye salmon frozen and 4 bags of the blue cod, which I sent Andre to Nestor's, and I bought 3 cases. Huh? And Jude to Nestor's, and I bought 3 cases of 250 ml jars, with 2 of those cases being actual salmon size jars, the smaller round flat ones, right, versus the tall jam ones at 250 ml. Now that was expensive, especially the salmon ones. I hope my son is not throwing out this shit, people, because these jars, like, you know, they're expensive, and much more in this day and age than they were 5 years ago. I can tell you that right now. Those salmon jars were like $23 a case, not including tax. And I bought 2 cases. Okay, so what does that tell you? It's a good thing I don't need to be starting off like I did in the good old days, right? I'm just appeasing myself. It's getting me motivated to start moving around. I was kind of shaky today, and you know, like shaky. You get old, right? You start to get a little shaky sometimes, you know, like weak, I guess. Weak, right? You know, my body's weak. My legs are weak. My arms, everything's weak right now because, you know, my immune system's down, right? Because, you know, one, I'm working hard. I put in 3 full days downstairs, right? I'm coming into contact with a lot of, because my nose is to the ground, right? You know, in terms of mildewy carpet and that kind of crap. And you know, I'm not eating properly, and I'm stressed out with the brain, with the cortisol. And anyway, it got me motivated. What I'm doing got me motivated to get into the kitchen with some inspiration, I guess you could say, to pick up, right? Because when I'm doing other things, everything else goes on hold, and, you know, it's hot up here, and I'm tired. And so anyway, I'm motivated. So I'm a little motivated, so that's good. I have to go get the pressure canner, which motivates me to go into the playroom, and I've got stuff in front of that door, fabric, that at some point I'd like to take it downstairs, but again, I don't know, people. I don't know what the hell's going on down there. So I need to move that and get to the pressure canner, and then once I do that, that motivates me to go down into the garage and get my little yellow table and bring that into the playroom and put it in the middle of the playroom and open up a leaf and, you know, put a few things on top of that, because eventually that will be a place for Andre to do his schoolwork, or maybe he wants to build on his Lego, or maybe we want to take some pictures of something to put online to sell. Either or, that's where that little table is going, right? But, you know, it's a chore. You know, it's a lot of bending, lifting, pulling, struggling, straining. Right? Got to get it up the stairs, you know, into the hall, down into the room, struggle and hit, struggle and struggle. But I'm motivated now because I have to go get the canner anyway. So once the door is open, then yeah, I get to move that little yellow table, because going downstairs looking at it in the garage, it's depressing. You know, it's not where it's supposed to be. But now I'm having to bring it upstairs, and otherwise I have to put it out on the road, and I don't want to lose it. It's little yellow fold up. Marina sews on my antique one downstairs. I have a really beautiful antique one. Yeah. Anyway, she sews on that. But besides that point, so my bill, even though it says 180, at the end of the day, it's only going to be 130, and that's assuming that they give me everything. But they're already warning me that they're getting low on stock, but they didn't tell me what they're getting low on, and at this point, I really don't care. Right? And then because of the promo code, which made me come back, if they wouldn't have sent me the promo code to get my extra 10,000 points, I wouldn't be ordering right now, right? But that's okay. So I use all my points, and I got another 10,000 starting to stack up. So it works. It works okay, you know, in the end. And this will be the last time I'll be, well, I won't can sockeye salmon again, that's for sure. And honestly, I have no interest in canning pink salmon, because I've got more than enough in the house. But like I said, it motivates me, and if you do home can, you tend to get a little more in your jar, depending on what size jar you use, and, you know, it's good. So I guess I'll place the order, be done with it. Just be done with it. Okay, so I don't know when I'm gonna continue working with this video. Probably when I get the salmon and stuff, because I just calculated, like, I'm already having panic attacks, and like my life is being cut short here with my eyes, because I don't think my son realizes how much money he is throwing away. And if they start throwing away my canning jars with food inside of them, or just canning jars in general, to which I don't think my son would, but as for his so-called better half, oh yeah, she doesn't care, people. She's kind of like Tisha. I want it fresh, right? I want it like before the expiration date, right? Because anything else after the expiration is, you know, living that middle-class lifestyle with oodles and oodles and oodles of money, where you can afford just to throw anything out at any time because it's just easy to go buy it again, right? Not everybody can live like that. In terms of, I don't want to eat home canned beans that were canned in 2015 when I can go to the grocery store and buy a can of beans, a can of beans, and eat those. And they're fresh in the can because, you know, there's an expiration date on it. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever you think. Like, they're clueless. They're completely fucking clueless. And if they come into hard times, people, oh my God. You know, they're the ones that are going to be standing in the frickin' ration line, going nuts. Yeah. Right? Wishing the hell that they would have learned how to do the things that I've been doing. Wishing the heck that they didn't snub their noses to it when it was presented to them. Because, you know, there's nothing new under the sun, people, in terms of, you know, depressions where 80% of the population are on the cusp of barely hanging on, and only 20% in the roaring 20s are doing well. And the other 80% are in food, you know, soup kitchen lines and with ration cards and all that crap. And that's assuming that they even can get that. Where, you know, in some instances, people actually starve to death en masse. With so many problems in the world, and I don't know, you know. But it's sad. For me, it's sad because, you know, my son, that man downstairs, we don't share the same values. Don't expect me to share your values, Mom. I have my own values. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I didn't expect you to share them, but at least in terms of my values, right? At least acknowledge them to be important, right? Acknowledge that they are worthy of being acknowledged versus trivializing them and acting like they're unimportant. So, you know, I just tallied up in my head approximately how much I just paid for 3 cases of jars. Now, economically, I suppose, especially for my situation, in the here and now, where this time next year I might not see well enough to be able to can anything. So whatever investment that I made into my jars today, which was about $68 for 3 cases of jars, the salmon jars were coming in at $22, $23 a case, right? Not including tax, so you can save $50 there. And then the little jam size 250 mil were like $16, so you just round it off at freaking 18, $20, so 50, 68, $70 for tax, and the three cases of jars at 250 mil. I have a lot of jars in this house, people. And I don't think, you know, well, they do kind of know how much Tisha used to go get me jars, so she would know. I was buying jars there a lot at one point. And I used to cruise thrift stores and buy them used in thrift stores. I've even bought in jars on, like we're talking mason jars, actual canning jars, right? On Facebook Market and just wherever over throughout the years. And I only got a little stack full, right? Just for the blackberries, and because I'm winding down, but the fish is motivating me, right? It's getting me to open up the door and drag up that table and not be mad and not get depressed. And, you know, even though I'm feeling a little weak and a little kind of like, you know, getting old, right? That's all I can explain it as. Like, I'm not 30, I'm not 40, I'm not 50, I'm pushing up to 63, I'm 62 and a half now, you know. So I have my good days and I don't have my so good days, and today was not so good day because I felt weak, right? But doing what I did motivated me, because now I'm in the kitchen happy. Oh, I got salmon, I better hurry up, gotta get on it, I gotta do this. As long as I've got that, I can ignore everything else and then get back to it after the fact, right? The potatoes, I can put them maybe someplace else just to keep them in a more cooler environment for a week or 2 or 3. And if I probably already told Andre I need another case of 1 liter size jars, so I'll probably send you back and go get me 1 case. That's all I need is 1 case. And I'll probably do the 7 jars of the red potatoes canned, Probably will do that. Won't do that for a week or so, 2, maybe 3, depends, right? Depends how they're holding up. And the russet potatoes, I will definitely process at least half of them, or maybe even 2/3 of them in the dehydrator, in the form of French fry or little squares or something, right? Probably a French fry. And then right on the bag, russet French fries, to see if when they hydrate, if they cook different. And that would be just peeling them. If I get to them fast enough, which I probably should, I can dehydrate the peels, keep them for something, soups or whatever, and cut them into French fries and just dehydrate them. And apparently the apples are starting to fall from the tree. It was grafted with 3 different types of apples. So the first batch is coming. So I did buy a new dehydrator for the apples. So I gotta pull that down and find a spot for it and get it ready. Yeah, because the one bag that I bought, I'm glad I only bought the one bag. I wasn't too sure what was going to happen with that apple tree, but Andre said there's quite a few apples on it. And I already made the commitment to process them, as many as I can. And I just basically want to dehydrate them. Yeah, because they hold up pretty good. Long time. And I don't want any more jars than I've already got or just got. Only because it's sockeye salmon, people. And 4 bags of black cod to try it out. That's the only reason. And I need another quart size, 12, because of the blackberries coming and a few potatoes. Because I'm already thinking about opening up those quart-sized jars with those potatoes as I'm making a stew or something. Try that one day. But after that, people, you know, this time next year, if I can't see, and maybe I'll leave it on this, maybe I'll just keep this video really short. Obviously, I don't have no time to work on those ghouls with those, you know, burkas on and shit, right? You know, seriously, I'm thinking it's a soji, those men that seek out boys for nefarious reasons. I don't think that was a woman. I really don't. With that video in Uganda with that little baby boy sitting on the street all by himself as everybody walking on by, like, that really disturbs me. I don't have time to work on that right now, though. I'm having just enough. It's hard enough just to get motivated to do anything right now. I practically got my dishes done now. But it took buying salmon to do that at this point. Because I have to get ready, right? It's going to be delivered tomorrow. It's coming in frozen. It goes into the fridge in a pot. It will sit like that. And then the next day, get up in the morning, I have my jars already washed, everything ready to go, canners out, and yeah, just start early with hopefully it won't be like this, kind of like shaky, right? Because if that happens, then I'm in trouble. But, you know, as long as I've got a fair amount of energy, you know, I'll just do it. And once it's done, it's done. And I'm gonna try and find room in my room for it. I want to put it downstairs. I'm afraid. I went down there when I was doing that stuff in that 14-year-old food storage area, and because they had moved things around so much, and when I got into that wall unit that I ended up putting down the hall by Auntie Shemay's room and Tisha's room, there was a jar, a pint-sized jar, that was like chicken soup or pork or something, right? It had liquid and everything in it. And you have to remember, these things don't have screw lids on them, right? Because, you know, you don't want to do that. You want to make it so that if it pops, it, right? Anyway, it was on its side. It wasn't standing up. It was like this on the carpet. And I'm digging around and I put my hand there and I felt it and I'm like, what the hell is this? Pull it out. That's what I mean. Like, if that thing would have popped and leaked out onto the carpet, oh my God. And spoiled? Like, fuck. It's stupid. Like, no respect. Because they can go to the grocery store and buy what they fucking want. Because they got cheap rent. Living the middle-class dream to some degree or another at my expense. Because if they had to go into fucking higher rent and cut back on their damn food and find ways to be thrifty, they might go into canning to do it. But they won't. No, they're going to bully me to death. That's what's going to happen here. And because we don't share the same values, all these jars, including the 3 cases that I bought today, people, $68 in fucking jars. Was it foolish? In regards to, should I have bought the sockeye salmon already pre-canned in a metal fucking can? I already have. Tons of it. This was something different. This was more like mental therapy and comfort food, right? With love, okay? That's really what it boils down to here, okay? And we know it works because we just opened up a can from 2014 for crying out loud, right? And the jar can be used over and over and over and over and over again, providing it's not chipped on top. And it could be used whether you're canning with it, freezing it, or just storing other food in it. But the way things are going, nobody values them because they're stuck on what? Modernization of going to the grocery store and buying what you want when you want it. And then mocking other people who are thrifty, try to become self-sustainable for themselves and their own households with food security. You're not going to find no fucking food security going to the grocery store every 2 weeks, every week, once a month. There's no food security in that with empty cupboards. Eventually that grocery store is going to shut down. Especially if the economy shuts down. What are you going to do then? Oh, that's a good time to go talk to Judy. That's a good time to go talk to Mom. Like, go away. But it won't matter because I won't be able to see. So whatever values I have is mute. Because they don't value what I value. It's like a kid that has tantrums. You say no, they say yes. You say, okay, yes, then all of a sudden they say no. Right? Anything to butt heads with you. Right? So, and like, I've been putting shit in my bedroom, people, that I don't want being tampered with. Whether it disappears, be moved around, fucking, who knows? Like, seriously, who knows? But there's a lot of jars downstairs, and I don't even know if they're respecting them, because they just don't respect anything that belongs to me, it seems. Because they're looking for the middle class lifestyle by any means necessary, where it's false at my expense and the kids, right? Because, you know, if I get sick, it takes away from them. Work me harder, takes away from them, right? Do the psychological warfare with the cortisol and all this stupid shit. What does it do? It breaks down my immune system. It makes me weak, right? It makes me shut down, whatever. There's consequences to all that. And why? Why? You can save money and what? Buy a condo or a townhouse or something in the future? Yeah, okay. If that's not shooting for middle class, I don't know what is. Right? Not saying it's not the right idea, but not when you're going around destroying other people's lives and mocking their values. Right? I bought $70, we'll just say $70 worth of jars today. Right? And they don't know. They're just going to chuck them out. Not realizing that they're throwing out hundreds and hundreds, thousands of dollars when that time comes, because I won't be able to stop them. Because they don't value canned home beans, canned home salmon, home canned salmon, or whatever it is. They just don't value it, because the grocery store is the what is, trying to impress somebody. Well, what did you do today? Oh, I went to the grocery store and I spent $1,200 at the grocery store today. Oh yeah, cost of living is going up, but I could still afford it. Or whatever. I don't know. 800, 700, 500, 400. Hell, I spent 128 today, and I wasn't even satisfied with what I got. Like, that was pathetic. In terms of quote-unquote vegetables, lettuce and that kind of stuff, with a bag of cat food, no name at that. Like, come on. So, what did you do today, Mom? Well, I saved myself $35 at least on sockeye salmon, but I had to invest into the jars, which kind of put me back. But at the end of the day, after those jars have been opened, washed, and put away, and then you're ready to use them again, that's where they come in handy, people. And, we're already facing metal shortages, and, they're making cans inferior, and you can't even trust these cans half the time anymore. These jars will be like gold. Well, my kids will be oblivious to it because we don't share the same values. Oh my God. Right? So I'm like, well, why you care? I won't be canning sockeye salmon next year. I can still do it this year. It gets me motivated to start moving around with my little aches and pains that I got going. I'm not in a lot of pain. I'm just feeling weak. It comes, I think, with getting older, right? Like I said, your skin changes, it does. Things change. Your body stature starts to change. Things just change. And because I'm like, gee, Judy, you're kind of looking like John would be, like, kind of moving around, right? As the older he got, he just his stature changed, and he got slower, and just, and I'm like, oh my God, that's what you were going through, eh, John? I think I'm going through it myself now a little bit. I never worried about my jars before. I'm a little worried about them now, but whatever I'm doing here, it's only 3 cases, and that's assuming that what I bought will fill up 3 cases. I gave myself enough wiggle room, right? And I'm pretty sure I can find some place to put them in my room, at least temporarily, until everything's organized downstairs, and then maybe move them downstairs. I don't know, or switch things around, bring up some of the older stuff and put some of the newer stuff downstairs. That would make sense. But again, is it safe? I don't know. I just don't know. My son will eat. He still has to learn how to cook it properly, though, because he tends to overcook it. And then, like, he boils it, and then it kind of disintegrates and it turns into a soup. Where if he would do it the way I would tell him to do it, then he'd get chunks of this and chunks of that when it comes to meat and that kind of stuff. But as for Tisha, no. And I don't even think Marina cares for it. I don't. And she influences my to not care for it. And that's why my son is now starting to say, well, I think we should get rid of some of this stuff. Old food. And I'm like, hold on a minute. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, first of all, you didn't fucking pay for it. Second of all, you didn't prep it. You didn't do the prep work. I did. Right? You didn't buy the what are those things, like the buckets and the jars and the Mylar bags or vacuum seal bags or the paper bags or anything to preserve it, right? Anyway, I don't have a choice now. If it wouldn't have been for that promo code, I wouldn't have done it. But it only cost me $130. And with the promo code $10, really it only cost me $120 minus the jars. And the only reason I'm mourning, I'm already mourning the jars. Mourning as in, like, you know, somebody dies and you mourn for them, right? I'm mourning the jars. I just got them. I haven't even opened up the case yet, but I'm already mourning them because it's been drilled into my head that whatever values I have, and this is what I mean by fucking abuse, like this is the shit that, like, it's psychological abuse. Like, you don't value anything that I have, anything that I do, or anything that I've accomplished, nothing. And if you do, it's only in a fleeting moment, right? I value what I've been doing with the food prep all these years, people, and but they don't. So therefore it makes me mourn what I've done, because I'm going to lose it, because I'm losing my eyesight and I won't be able to protect it. And as I lose it, my grandkids lose it, because they're being conditioned that you will own nothing and you will be happy. You will eat your meal day by day. And if you can't go out and make $4,000 a month to go to the grocery store to buy what you want, well, then I guess you'll be sitting underneath a tree. You'll be a bum and you'll go hungry. And that was after they threw out my food, when I can't protect it no more. And even when I think I can protect it, I still get blindsided. Yeah. Under normal circumstances, with good eyesight, I wouldn't bat an eye about spending $70 on jars. Wouldn't be the first time, and it sure in hell wouldn't have been the last time. At the end of my road, when it comes to my eyesight, and I know how vulnerable this whole situation is, I'm already mourning them, and I haven't even filled them up and canned them yet, because they're not valued. And I have no way to protect them. As the ones that want to take over my life, want to take it not only away from me, in terms of whatever I've done with the food prep or whatever, or just total control of the house, whatever it is, but they're also trying to take it away from them, my grandkids. And my grandkids will be treated the same way I was treated when my mom died. And her other kids played off me like I was insignificant and unworthy of anything. Which is wrong. So I don't know. Other than that, I can pace myself around this. Like I said, it's kind of motivating me, but I am kind of like achy, and today I kind of feel old. Or at least getting older. You know, they say you've been through the ringer washer. You know, you right? Where you ran a freaking 5-mile marathon or something, and you weren't prepped for it. So maybe I'll just, I don't know. Maybe I'll just, and that's another thing. I'll have to cut back on these videos soon. My eyes are getting burnt right out, looking at the computer screen all the time. Yeah, but that probably won't happen. Doesn't matter what I do, honestly. Even if I was to stop, it wouldn't matter. Every day I wake up, they're just getting cloudier and cloudier. Yeah, that guy wants to do an operation on this eye, but I can't with all this work. No fucking way. He'll be calling me up in end of August. Are you ready? I'll be like, no. He'll say, well, gee, you know, you had all summer. I'll say, yeah, I know, but I've been working like a dog, and I still got another 2-3 more months to go, because I have to be outside. I'll be outside until November. In the rain. Worrying about my jars. Or whatever it is. It's like stupid. So I'm trying to figure out an escape. I'm trying to figure out how to escape. You have to remember, I've been beat by more than one man, okay? And not everything, when it comes to abuse, has to be like that, okay? Personally, I'm getting tired of living my life like this for, I don't know. When John asked me, I'm going to end it on this. When John asked me to have Joan move in, because he didn't want her by herself in an old folks' home in Victoria, left alone with nobody visiting her, because he knew that his family wouldn't go visit her. He knew that his adopted daughter, Debbie, wouldn't visit her very much. She'd just be all by herself, and she was at the point where she couldn't be in not even independent living anymore. She had to go into long-term care, right? They gave her no choice. And I guess she asked John if she could come over here, and John asked me if she could. And of course I knew she had mental health issues and that kind of crap. Bulimia, anorexia, had been in and out of mental institutions on several, more than 2, 3, 4 occasions throughout her life with her marriage with John. Okay, but that was something he really wanted, because, you know. I said, okay, John, no problem. We got the kids, whatever it is, we'll look after her, you know. right? You're there, I'm there, and we've got the kids, right? Shmay, Tisha, Sierra, Marcane, Brooks, whatever. And she came. I don't want to say I regret having her moved in.
Make a bottle of milk, okay?
Yeah, milk would be good. Vitamin D drop. I don't want to say that I made a mistake, because that would hurt Uncle John's feelings, even in his grave. Alright, I wouldn't want to hurt his feelings, you know. But it was rough, people. It was really rough.
Where's the milk?
It's in the fridge.
Put it in the fridge?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was really rough. She was doing some weird shit. Really weird shit. It got
about the apples?
Yeah, but let me see them. It got to the point where I just wouldn't let her upstairs anymore. I just couldn't, because I couldn't trust her. It was getting weird. I'm kind of at that same fucking position again. Only it's scarier this time around. Yeah. It's scarier. See? They're already coming. And this from my little tomato plant. Andre says they're growing. I haven't been out there to look at them, so I don't know. Huh? Oh, well, good. I will pull out this week the other dehydrator, and I'm gonna hunker down and.
Not making more of vitamin D drop, right?
Yeah, I'm dehydrating. I'm not canning them. I'm dehydrating. I get more in a jar if I dehydrate, and they sit really well for years and years and years, even if you don't get to them. Cool, dark place, sealed container, you'll be fine. And then if shit gets real bad in the next 4 to, we'll say 3 to 5, 8 years from now, oh my God, you'd be looking at those apples playing like, thank God Mom thought that far ahead. But by then I probably won't even be around anymore. So hopefully they'll have the foresight not to throw it out when I can't see no more. Hopefully they'll have the foresight not to throw it out while I still can't see. Okay, so I'm going to end it on this. $25 a case. That's $50 in jars. That's 24 jars for the sockeye salmon. Instead of seeing it as a waste of money, see it as these jars can last for 50 years or more, providing that you look after them. 50 years is a long time, people. Up to 100 years. Okay? So, you know, you're looking at $1 a year for 50 years, just for those 2 cases. That you can can over and over and over and over, whatever you want to can. It doesn't matter. All right? I'm just saying.